It looked like the pitchfork had fallen from its resting place. I couldn't see a thing, and the idea of walking around a room in the dark, where my father invented things, made me nervous. The lights in the shed only came on when Dad's generator was running. I hadn't figured out how it worked yet though. It wasn't your average generator. The pitchfork wasn't heavy enough by itself to make the handle budge. Yet another impressive feat of engineering. Well, well, well. I've had enough of that pump for today. There, that should keep it cool. The notes indicated that the water could be topped up via the funnel. I presume the machine wouldn't work without coolant. The whole wall was covered in writing. With the machine generating power, there was some writing on the wall made visible by the light of the bulbs. Some of it was obscured by sunlight though. I had to admit, some of Dad's inventions really were inspired. Dad had a habit of writing on whatever was nearest at the time. Apparently he found a way to make sure I didn't clean it. He must have wanted to remember that particular pattern, but what for? Whatever I did, it caused the machine in the back garden to power up. Dad left his jacket. Sometimes his work. Cooking utensils hung from the wall. I'd recently. Cooking utensils. If I went back up there, I'd wake Lily, and I did not want to do that. I think you realize. The machine was receiving power from within the house and was now transmitting something. Sure enough, the lights and whatever other equipment Dad constructed were receiving power. I wasn't sure if I was getting any closer to figuring out what happened to him, but it was the best lead I had. There was a hand-drawn map on the wall with 2 locations marked. our house, and the hydroelectric dam, where Dad used to work. I'll find a way to blame it on the dog. The machine appeared to have opened by itself. There was a 50-50 chance that it was intended to respond to vibration, or that it was simply as reliable as the stepladder. It was one of the puzzle boxes my father often made for Lily. I wasn't sure why he hadn't given her this one, but I knew she'd be happy to have it. There was a small keyhole in the back, but like many of Dad's devices, its purpose was far from obvious. The machine appeared to be waiting for something. The machine appeared to be... The machine appeared... Turned out the shed's various appendages did something after all. I wanted to give Lily the puzzle box I had found, but she was still asleep. Whenever possible, I tried to avoid taking the blame for waking Lily. Dougal, I think it's your turn to wake Lily up. Lily was fearless, even with the way she got out of bed. Sorry you had to take the blame for that one, Dougal. Lily, does when in doubt, dance it out mean anything to you? Right. How did that dance go again? How did that dance go again? The secret dance routine turned out to be the solution for the combination lock. Inside the box there was a small key where the tasty treat should have been. looks about the right size. Hey! Ah!
So hungry. Need breakfast. Look, Dougal, everything's laid out already. I should just make it myself. It's porridge. What could go wrong? Why doesn't Dad ever let me get a bowl for myself? Water? Check. Big old bag of oats. Prepare to be eaten. Hey, wait a minute. It's empty! Okay, I can fix this. All I need is a fresh bag of oats, a new bowl, and then to place a pot over the fire. This is easy peasy. What was Dad worried about? That breakfast wasn't going to prepare itself. Why didn't Granddad invent something like that? Ugh, Dad tied a knot around the handle again. He must be trying to keep you away from the bowls, Dougal. I've never adventured on an empty stomach. Dougal, attack that string! Dougal probably would have fetched the oats if I asked him, but I didn't trust him not to eat them. That breakfast wasn't going to prepare itself. Why didn't Granddad invent something like that? I've never adventured on an empty stomach. Dougal was pretty smart, but he didn't know how to put together a breakfast. Dougal probably would have fetched the oats if I asked him, but I didn't trust him not to eat them. Hey, Dougal, I think someone's at the door, boy. Wait till Dad hears I did this all by myself. Hang on. Where is Dad?
Oh. For a moment, I wondered where I was. Then I noticed everything was different. I was different, but it was when I thought of Lily that it no longer mattered why. I couldn't let her think that she had lost someone else. There was a pair of niche panels on one of the walls, each containing an empty spherical socket. Come on, come on. Okay, let's figure this out. Somebody had left their belongings on the floor of the strange room. After glancing over the items, I realized some of them belonged to my dad. So, this is where you went. Dad's pipe had been left behind, and in more pieces than the last time I saw it. No wonder, if his entrance was anything like mine was. Dad's pipe had... Among the collection of things, there was a notebook, but I didn't recognize the owner's handwriting. A quick scan showed it to be filled with scientific notation, none of which I could make sense of. It was unusual to see Dad without his hat, and vice versa. Then again, it was noticeably warmer than home. I decided to take it with me. A glass jar had been left next to the other belongings, emitting a faint white light. Assuming unusual objects to be important seemed like a good rule of thumb, so I picked it up. Whatever the rightmost socket was supposed to do, it didn't seem to be able to do it while the lab was unpowered. The door's release mechanism wouldn't function without power. As well as being a fire hazard, it was extremely inconvenient for me. Placing the jar into the left socket had restored basic power to the lab. There was a pair of niche panels on one of the walls, each The lab had some power, but none of it was reaching the door release mechanism. The machine was dead, no matter how much I banged my fists against it. There was a pair of niche panels. There was a pair of niche. Placing the jar into the left socket had restored basic power to the lab. There was just enough power to distribute to the door release. There was just enough power. There was just... It took a large amount of power to get me here. Logic dictated that it would take something similar to get me home. I was going to have to venture outside to find it. And in the back of my mind, I hoped that I might find my father along the way.
Dad must have gone to town without telling us. Oh well, time to go to work.